friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to today. On this episode, we are going to talk about a packed Monday Night Raw from last night on the road to Elimination Chamber, on the road to WrestleMania. And Larson, it seems like they are doing what they can to put to rest this so-called Sami Zayn problem on the road to WrestleMania, where people are like, oh man, you got to roll with Sami Zayn. You got to do Sami Zayn heading into WrestleMania, because there was a promo last night that a lot of people out there are saying, at least in my orbit, might have been promo of the year between Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes. What did you think about the big promo last night between those two, building to the Roman Reigns Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania?
Meh. No, I'm kidding.
A lot of talking last night, Steve.
Yeah, too much talking. Gosh. So there's a lot of angles that they could potentially have taken with Cody and Roman specifically. Family legacy versus family legacy. And I guess going into this, I had forgotten about Paul Heyman's history with Dusty Rhodes. Going back to the WCW days, and after the promo segment last night, Cage Side Seats has a write-up on this promo segment and has a quote from Heyman regarding one of his first promos in WCW and how Dusty reacted to it. I remember hearing that story a while ago, so it's all coming back. My memory's being jogged back. Regardless, roundabout way saying they found an approach to this that made it personal. There and with that, you up the intensity. Cody, as he said at the conclusion of the promo, he says, "I'm just trying to win a championship. I'm just trying to win a championship belt.
Yeah,
and you had to go and make this personal."
Yeah.
I like Paul Heyman is the absolute best at finding a way to disarm whoever he's in the ring opposite, have them let their guard down, and at the most opportune time, really stick it to him. Mm-hmm. And we saw that on full display last night. It got to some really, as they say, let's pull the curtain back. And it got to some really personal stuff in terms of Heyman, his dealings with Dusty. Dusty, as Cody puts it, their family was low on money. And at one point, Paul Heyman gave Dusty a call and said, "Hey, come show up. I'll pay you well." And it seemingly, that was just one kind of story beat in Dusty and Heyman's relationship that spans back probably to the early 90s or even late 80s maybe, when Heyman was Paulie Dangerously in WCW leading the Dangerous Alliance. And I'm happy they tapped into that backstory for this, because it's going to up the intensity, especially with the idea that Heyman is... One thing Heyman pointed out is that Dusty had a role in training and preparing, in his words, a lot of the top stars in WWE today: Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Roman Reigns. And it was kind of framed, whereas Dusty, at least in official capacity, wasn't involved in the training of Cody whatsoever. And that Cody wasn't at FCW or NXT during Dusty's time there. So it's almost as if Heyman is framing it as Roman is kind of like, in terms of Dusty's training, like the top tier. This is what Dusty trained Roman to do, to be the guy. You never got that, Cody. How do you expect to stand up in the spotlight that Roman has to handle every day, when you've never had to deal with that, when you have been trained to deal with that? And at the end saying, hey, my last conversation with your dad, he told me, Cody, you were his favorite son, but Roman was the son he wished he had. Just sticking it to him.
He delivered that line with the most possible arrogance.
And glee.
Yeah.
He knew exactly what he was doing.
So this is what I loved. This is what I loved. This is what was so masterful about the promo, is that in one segment, they took a guy who many people saw as shoehorned into it. By the way, if you go by the crowd, people want Cody. They do. You look at how much Cody merch, how many Cody signs were there, and so you have this question of
To add on to this real quick, Meltzer said on the Raw recap or Wrestling Observer Radio last night that attendance at house shows are through the roof when it's announced that Cody's going to be there too.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So this is what they did. This was absolutely masterful. You have this question of shouldn't it be Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns at the Royal Rumble? And so what do? You have Cody come out, and like a skilled politician, what does he do? They frame this promo to basically make Cody one of the people who's a bystander in much of this, and they rope him into it along with the rest of the people. They made Cody relatable, a guy who takes private jets, a guy who has the most pyro with all the American flags, who comes dressed up like either Homelander, Captain America, or Superman, or some combination of all of them. A guy who on the surface does not come off as very relatable to the working man, his dad, the most relatable pro wrestler in history, perhaps. And to tell this story that back in 2000, his dad was so broke, they had $100 in a Wachovia checking account, and Dusty had to do car commercials, not to make money, but to make sure his car wasn't repoed. And Paul Heyman was the guy who saved him on a financial and an emotional level. So everybody in the audience, everybody watching at home can then understand Cody, because everybody either knows that plight personally or has known that plight with perhaps other people they've known. He's instantly relatable. He comes out and says, Sammy might win this thing. The crowd starts chanting Sammy, and he says, you guys must have read my mind. I'm with you. Sammy's great. And I text you last night. Cody was a supreme politician because he's taking the guy that everybody wants and he's bringing him to his side.
Yeah.
He's saying, hey, Sammy, may the best man win. If it ends up being me and you, guess what? Because, hey, look, it's a foregone conclusion. I won the Rumble, so I'm already at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Right?
And not only is he says it's looking like, essentially, I'll be facing my friend.
Yeah, my friend. Yeah.
Sami Zayn.
Right.
Yeah.
So he comes in there, and it's not long at all before Heyman shows up. So then Heyman shows up, and that's when they go down this road that you were talking about, the memory lane. And Cody tells that story, which is making him more relatable. Well, Heyman does several things in his promo. Number one, he builds up Cody's credentials. They relate to a certain degree because Cody says, I always appreciate you because you were a disruptor, and I did the same thing. You were the blueprint for me in going out and doing the AEW stuff. Heyman says, through all your trials and tribulations, you ended up where you are, paving that road of adversity that Cody faced, getting to where he is now. He wasn't handed this. He had to work for it, which is something, again, everybody can relate to. Cody opens himself up, makes himself vulnerable to Paul Heyman, his opponent's special counsel, the guy who is the most manipulative person in the history of pro wrestling. He opens himself up. So Paul Heyman, what does he do? He takes advantage of that. But after he says, Dusty built up all these people, but he didn't build up you, what does he do? He says, but maybe there's a good reason for that.
Yeah.
And every single thing that Heyman says, Cody reacts like he's either being hugged or being shot. Because he says, but he didn't do that to you. And Cody winces. He winces like he's been fucking slapped.
But it was maybe he didn't want you to have your career under his shadow. He wanted you to go out and establish
there might be an
your own
altruistic
name.
reason for it. And Cody then feels warm again. And then Paul Heyman starts to tell the ultimate story about Dusty's last conversation. And that's when he drops that bomb. Roman is the son he wished he had. And oh my God. But here's the thing. What does Cody do? It would have been easy. And maybe if Vince would have allowed this promo to happen, Heyman would have gotten the last word and walked away because baby faces are pushovers under Vince McMahon sometimes. Not this time. Cody does what we want him all to do. He goes up to Heyman and says, all I want is a pro wrestling title. All he wants is a title to honor his family's legacy. Is that so difficult to understand? But everybody keeps trying to make it personal. And so he's going to make it personal. And so in one fell swoop, everybody's behind Cody even more if you weren't there, if you were in the first place. But if you weren't, oh, I understand this now. Yeah. I understand it now.
Yeah. Yep.
I thought it was an absolute masterclass of emotion, of manipulation, and of understanding perhaps where people who are hesitant to be behind Cody Rhodes, where they're coming from and how to get them on board with, hey, this is happening. And it might and it might be Sammy versus Cody. It might be Roman. We all know it's going to be Roman versus Cody. Cody even said that at the end. But no, I thought this was an absolute masterclass, making the case for Cody Rhodes. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do next. I hope they keep Cody and Roman away from each other for a while, because you can build that first confrontation into a pretty great thing on the road to WrestleMania.
And it still feels like there's more material they could potentially mine with Heyman and Cody, given the Rhodes family history with Paul. We'll mention this real quick. Meltzer on Wrestling with Zero Radio mentioned this as seemed like speculation on how this all came together. The segment, these transcripts are from WrestlingNews.co. He said this, quote, well, the thing tonight, we probably should open with this. It was fantastic. This was done because they were well aware of how hot the Sami Zayn thing is, and it was imperative to not have this WrestleMania main event angle feel secondary. They knew going in that they had to do something, and they did. They used a lot of real history here with Dusty and Paul Heyman.
You know, I mean, it's yeah, yeah. We know. You're right.
Yeah.
That's speculation right there.
Yeah.
But it's incredibly smart, and it's a great problem to have. We've created an angle so hot that people want to see that play out at WrestleMania. But we've got a guy who people really like as well.
Yeah.
This ain't like it's, Batista 2014.
Nope.
This is a completely different situation because people generally like Cody, and in any other situation, maybe this would be fumbled, but they know what they're doing now.
Seemingly, yeah. I mean, it's a situation, too, where you don't necessarily have to have Cody get involved in the Sammy, Kevin Owens aspect of the story,
right?
Especially after this.
Yeah.
This is very pointed in a very personal direction now between Cody and Roman. Mm-hmm. And you could have the Sammy story run parallel to Cody and Roman's story, only to have them intersect at WrestleMania. We're down, ref bump. You have the overbooked ending, and you have Jay, Jimmy, Solo out there with Sammy, maybe even Kevin Owens, where they all have to make the decision. Even Heyman, maybe. They all have to make the decision at that moment, at the end of WrestleMania. Whose side are they going to be on? If the writing is on the wall and it looks like Roman is going to lose, and the connection, probably by the time we get to WrestleMania between the Bloodline members is so tenuous, everybody at that point's got to make a choice.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Are we going to stick with Roman, even though it seems certain that he's losing these titles? And at that point, the Usos will probably have already lost the tag titles. What's in it for them if Roman loses then?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah.
And then Jay especially has to make peace with all the manipulation that Roman has done. Yeah. And, there's a lot that could be worked out, a lot of story beats that could be hit at the end of WrestleMania during this match, and to see the bloodline just all fall apart and people having to deal with what they have gone through over the last 2 years, plus years. Well,
this is what's going to be interesting is the Jay Jimmy situation, because we both feel that Jay is somehow going to, in the short term, reunite with the bloodline and because I think he sees in Sammy, a guy that betrayed him down to his deepest core. The guy that saw the good in him turned his back on the bloodline, on the family, after he was the last one to accept him. But I think in the end, given that they're going to lose. Oh, and by the way, apparently last night on Raw, they did mention that the tag team tournament is for just the SmackDown titles, not the Undisputed.
That's supposed to happen on Friday's show. So
right, yeah. So Jay's got to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I don't, to see, the way I think it's probably going to go down is obviously Jimmy and Jay are going to lose because Sammy and Kevin are sort of the pure versions of family, what family should be. Guys who, no matter what they do to each other, they end up sticking together. And Jay's going to understand that that's not how it is in the bloodline. Roman will turn on them and manipulate them, and he might have to lose everything, meaning the tag titles, which is a big, big deal, given that they've broken the record for them. And it's going to be more of a family thing as opposed to a titles thing, but the title is going to be the symbol of that. And so they're going to lose that, and he's going to understand, I've lost pretty much everything. All I have now that I really can count on is my brother. And they're going to have a united front and just not help Roman. And I think that should be probably the thing. But I think it's going to be a great story. I think we're in for some really awesome segments and matches. I honestly hesitate to call this promo of the year simply because there's been so much good stuff that you can sort of, call promo, but goddamn, that last line.
Yeah, it was really good.
Wow.
Also, it's only February, so there's still 10 months in the year.
It's only February. I know, but here's the thing. Come summertime, I don't know, the same people are going to be in charge of creative. So I don't know that it's going to get better than this, but I sure hope so, because this is what we're seeing is what wrestling really can be on a long-term basis, and what it should have been for just the longest time that it really unfortunately hasn't been, at least in WWE.
Also, we saw the return of Lita last night. She
Yeah.
helped Becky defeat Bayley in the cage match. And there's talk going around wrestling internet that Lita could be involved in a match at Elimination Chamber. So Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Sean Ross Sapp, referenced a report on Twitter from WRKD Wrestling. And this report was their first tweet ever. So keep that in mind. This is what the tweet said. Quote, expect Lita tonight, Trish next week, Becky, Trish, Lita against Damage Control at Elimination Chamber. Their second tweet was retweeting Sean saying that they said that I imagine this is Worked Wrestling.
Okay.
Reported that Lita was going to be on Raw last night.
Oh, wow. A new player has entered the game.
So they have two tweets. This all related to this.
That's a hell of a Twitter debut right there.
I mean, like if this turns out to be right, like that's it. Go out on top.
I know.
One report came true.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, just do the George Costanza. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah. Look, I'd love for, again, the double standard that was before, where with the women's division, if you're like 32, you're over the hill. Whereas with the men, you could be that you're starting your career basically, You
could be 65 and be the most powerful wrestler in the entire promotion. Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would love if Lita, because I know obviously the way she wrestled back in the day, we all know she had, and then there was the thing on the TV show, she had some injuries, but man, I mean, why not bring back on a regular basis, some of these legends, if they want to wrestle, let them wrestle. Yeah, Elimination Chamber. What a stacked show this is.
I know.
Gearing up to be. I expected Brock versus Lashley at Mania.
That could still happen. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a wonk finish to lead to some sort of stipulation match at WrestleMania.
It could be, but regardless, they are stacking this Elimination Chamber to be something really special. And why not? Why not make every pay-per-view must watch? Like there should be no B-level pay-per-views. There really shouldn't be. They should be a big deal. And yeah, whether it's at Elimination Chamber or at Mania, holy crap, Becky Lynch, Trish, and Lita versus Damage Control. Oh my God.
It's pretty huge.
What a huge match that would
be. Great. Speaking of Chamber, we got a couple more matches made. Edge and Beth Phoenix challenged Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley to a tag match at Elimination Chamber. And Finn seemed down with that. And then also Brock Lesnar came to the ring with what he said was a multi-million-dollar contract for a match with Bob Lashley at Elimination Chamber. And Lashley was like, I got to take it to my agent, my management, my lawyer.
I love that.
I'll get back to you.
That was great. Oh, that was awesome. Then he gave him that 5. Yeah. I thought that was really good stuff. That's going to be, I love this feud, I think it's just two big old dudes fighting each other. You have to love it. And this is something that people have wanted for we didn't get for however many years, you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
now we're
kinda
finally getting a
crazy.
proper feud between them.
Yeah, Bobby feels like a big deal, you
Yeah, he
know,
does.
and you gotta love that Triple H has sort of restored him to feeling like a big deal, and then plus you got, you know, perhaps Hurt Business. I mean, maybe that's gonna how if they're gonna wonk the finish, maybe it's gonna be a Hurt Business situation, and then we'll get Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania. Brock versus Bobby, keep Hurt Business out. Whoa! Oh my God!
Wow!
Wowie! Wow! Exactly.
Also, Carmella, Damian Priest, and Montez Ford all earned spots in their respective chamber matches.
All the best options there. I mean, look, there were no bad options in the women's Fatal 4-Way.
That match was really good too.
That match was sick. That match was awesome.
Tons of fun.
I kind of want to see Candice LeRae in Elimination Chamber. Kind of want to see that.
I thought Piper would have been.
That'd have been
pretty
a great
cool
option.
to have Piper in there,
and Mia Yim too, obviously. But Carmella's just coming back. She's a bit. You and I have always been big Carmella fans. So I think that's a good spot right there. And then who doesn't want to see Montez in the chamber? How great is that? He's going to do some crazy cool shit. That's awesome. And then of course Priest. You know, Judgment Day. It's not Money in the Bank. It's Elimination Chamber.
But you know, he dislikes Edge so much that sometimes he can't talk. So
I love that. I thought that was awesome. Before we get into the actual recap, man, you want to pay some bills?
Sure.
Okay.
Let's take a quick break here, friendos. Get a word from our sponsor, DraftKings Sportsbook. So, Steve,
yes,
are you ready for the biggest Sunday in all of sports? I know I am. I got my Eagles gear all ready. A couple jerseys, my Zubaz pants. They're all washed, they're clean, they're ironed, they're ready to go. I've been practicing the Eagles fight song in preparation for the game this weekend. You want to hear me sing it? I know you do. Here we go.
No, maybe after the show. You know, maybe once I'm, off Zoom. Anyways, I'm sure everybody, though, wants to hear about how DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57, has all the Super Bowl action you need. You see, Larson, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
That's right. Plus, all customers can get in on the Super Bowl 57 excitement with DraftKings Happy Hour Super Boost. So here's what you got to do. Check the DraftKings Sportsbook app every day between 6 p.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern. That's between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. Pacific to see what prop bet will be boosted. And speaking of boosted, Steve, I'm going to boost your spirits with the fight song. My pick to win Super Bowl this year. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay, that's good. That's a tease. It's a good tease. No, that's a good tease. We'll do the rest later for patrons or whatever. Anyways, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code RAW. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code RAW. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Can I sing now?
Just wait, wait, we got, wait, maybe just not here on the show. Thank you. But what we can talk about right now is over at patreon.com/Steven Larson. And for YouTube channel members, you can vote right now on this month's retro review. The voting's going to close tonight. It's going to close tonight. WWF Raw Episode 1, ECW Hardcore TV, the first episode of ECW television where they were officially Extreme Championship
Wrestling.
So you can vote on that right now, and then you can check out the episode well before we put it live on the channel, because we're going to do it this Friday as part of our Overrun bonus weekly show. Overrun. So yeah, want to say that, and then a quick shout out to a couple new channel members. Let's see here, or returning channel members, I should say. Allison, Scott, Super Smash Master 174. Thank you so much for the support. We appreciate it. And yeah, that's just all you got to do is click join, and then you go to the membership tab, and you can vote on stuff, and you watch our old bonus episodes. It's all there for you.
Yep. Let's jump right into it. I will be Edge. You can be Finn. I'll be Edge. You can be Judgment Day. I'll be Edge and Beth. You be Judgment Day.
This was great. Yeah, that was awesome, because that's good. Edge and Beth, when they come out, it was cute. He sort of slaps her on the behind. She gives him the look of death. Like, this ain't the time and place, buddy.
Yeah.
That was pretty great. So yeah, you go ahead, be Edge.
All right, I'll be Edge. He says, "Oh, Orlando. I'm going to try to bring my heart rate down to say it's so damn good to be back. I am the king of comebacks at this point. There's one reason why we're here, and that's Judgment Day. Here's the thing. Judgment Day, they're my fault. I wanted to elevate talent that truly deserved it, and to be honest, it worked. All of them are in a better place now than a year ago. Finn is operating at a level I've never seen him at before. Priest is a workhorse that can come in week after week and go against the very best. Rhea, who got a good pop, went from number one, outlasted everyone at the Rumble, and punched her ticket to WrestleMania against Charlotte. Oh, and Dom's there too. For the last year, we've battled all over the place, back and forth, all leading up to Extreme Rules, and I knew Finn didn't have enough to make me say I quit. But when I saw what happened to Beth, I was helpless to stop it. I'm the kind of man who isn't used to feeling helpless, so congratulations, Judgment Day. Here's your golf clap. So the crowd starts chanting, you still got it. And real quickly, he just says, I never lost it.
I never lost it.
He says, here's the thing. You just made a bad problem worse. I'm a cruel, vindictive, sick bastard who will sink to any level to get my pound of flesh. And Beth says, I'm going to cut to the chase. If you got the stones, Rhea Ripley, Finn Balor, my husband and I are here to finish this.
That's such great mom and dad vibes. If you got the stones, Sonny. So that brings out Judgment Day. It's Finn, Priest, and Dom. And Finn says, am I the only person noticing a pattern? Edge returns to the ring only for Judgment Day to beat him down again and again. Might be time to say I quit. And Dom, as soon as he says one word, this crowd lights Dom up.
Oh, yeah.
It's so awesome. And there is a great sign in the crowd that says Eddie's your real dad or something like that. And that comes into play a little bit later. So Dom says, you must have heard word on the street travels fast. Since you've been gone, I served hard time. You better run along before I do something to you that I learned on the inside. Just like I did my deadbeat dad. He didn't even make it to the Rumble. And then Priest says, Edge, you and Ray are something else. Every time you come back, we beat you down and you come back for more. The next time we beat you down, we make what happened at Extreme Rules look like child play. Tonight, after Dawkins lose, I enter elimination. Is that when he messed up right here?
Yeah.
When Dawkins loses, I enter money. Wait, no, Finn. He makes me so mad. I hate you so much, Edge. I can't even speak. Edge is in the ring laughing.
Yeah.
He says, once again, I'll be U.S. champion. And then Dom says, I wish Mommy was here so she could see what we're about to do to you because she's apparently out doing WrestleMania press
stuff.
Yeah.
So Ed says, Dom, shut up. Everything I said was true, but you confuse me. You don't know what you want. Priest, the night you clotheslined my head off, you said you didn't want a leader, but you follow Finn around like a giant labradoodle. Finn, you look like a dollar store version of Jamiroquai. But the difference between you and Beth and I is that we have each other's back. But you'll drop each other faster than Dom dropped his drawers in the clink. He says, I can't wait until Ray comes back and 619s your teeth down your throat. And then Beth says, Rhea isn't here because she's doing a promotional appearance. We all know it's because I speared her soul out of her body. But I didn't come to talk. I came to beat Rhea's ass. Since she isn't here, how's this? Edge, Beth Phoenix, Finn, Rhea Ripley at Elimination Chamber.
And Dom says, I think Mommy's in. And Finn replies enthusiastically, Finn is in. That's if you make it to the chamber. And so they stalk Edge and Beth and they surround the ring and they get in there and they start scuffling a little bit. But the Street Profits music hits. They come down to make the save. Dawkins takes out Priest and Finn eats a spear from Edge. Dom gets taken out by Ford and sent to the ring and he backs down. And then Beth grabs Dom. Oh, the crowd was popping so huge for this. She gets him up in position for a glam slam, and the look on his face is priceless. And right behind him in the crowd is Eddie's your real father. And then Eddie screams, Mommy! She drops him with the glam slam.
So good.
Dom is so damn good, man.
He really is. He really is. Further proof. If someone's trying to find their character, turn them heel.
Just turn him bad guy. See what happens.
Turn him heel. Because then it's like there's so much freedom you could do as a heel, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
There's so much freedom you could do as a heel.
Yeah.
Seemingly, if you're a heel, you can just go out there and have fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that just opens up so many more avenues, I think, in terms of people trying to find their character.
Yeah, absolutely. It's terrific, man. It's really
fantastic. It's fantastic. So then we had Damian Priest versus Angelo Dawkins. This is Elimination Chamber qualifier bout. Angelo Dawkins is a hell of a wrestler.
Oh, man, he's terrific, yeah.
And if the Street Profits break up at some point, I hope he doesn't get lost in the shuffle. He's really good in the ring. He's a ton of fun to watch.
Yeah, he's improved a lot. He's in phenomenal shape. And yeah, no, I agree with you. I hope they find him something to do if they end up breaking up, which, given that Montez is going to be in Elimination Chamber and Dawkins isn't, I don't know if this is going to be sowing a little bit more, division between the two of them or not. But yeah, I mean, you and I have said for a while, Street Profits need something. They need something to sort of, get back into a little bit more relevancy, perhaps. And if that's like a breakup or, something else, I don't know what it would be, but yeah, that'd be cool. But
it definitely seems like there needs to be some sort of shift in direction with them.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. Priest gets the win here with what was it? Priest with a stiff right and Dawkins with one of his own. Priest hits a spinning roundhouse kick and a South of Heaven for the win. By the way, shout out to Chris Garrix once again for providing us with our Raw notes.
Thank you so much, Chris. After that, we see Austin Theory arrive at the arena in Lambeau.
Oh, vroom, vroom, vroom.
Gets out, grabs his U.S. title, tosses keys to the valet, and he enters the arena.
Broke his budget on getting that rental car, man. He should have just got like a, even like a Charger or something.
I mean, really, he should have got something sensible. He should have got an electric car.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah, rolling around in a Lambo like that.
Yeah, no. So backstage, Maximum Male Models are signing contracts to join the Raw brand.
Maximum Models.
And then Maxine Dupree is like, yeah, we got huge plans here. Chelsea Green steps in and asks Adam Pearce, I need to speak to the manager. And he's like, we went through this last week.
Yeah, you know who I am.
That's me. And she says, last week I was supposed to get my private dressing room with the spring water and the Swiss chocolates. And Pearce says, yeah, I took care of all that. And she goes, what was in my locker room was Belgian chocolates. I've been to Belgium. I know the difference.
Yeah.
And she says, anyways, I want to speak to you as to why I'm not in the chamber match. And then Pearce says, well, with all due respect, you didn't even last 5 seconds in the Rumble. And Chelsea says, do I need to call your manager? All I'm asking for is an opportunity. My family's here. I deserve a match to showcase the star that I am. I expect it. Or one call can cost you your job.
Oh, wow.
Okay, thanks, bye. And then she walks and leaves.
She's got Triple H's phone on speed dial, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
Speed dial even a thing?
I don't know what I necessarily think about the character in general, but Chelsea's doing a good job with it, so...
You know what, dude? Yeah, she is, because I think she can do a good job with pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And it's something, It's something. It's something that people want to see. When she was in there against Asuka, people popped, not just because it's Asuka, but because it's Asuka, but also because, oh man, we want to see this person get their ass kicked. I don't think it's I think it's probably a good, the quote unquote Karen is all over social media, has been for years now.
Yeah.
And that is something that's incredibly relatable. And to see her get her ass kicked, I think people are going to want to see that. You just don't want it to become too one-dimensional, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the fear.
Yeah. After that, we had Baron Corbin versus Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis ends up getting the win here. And then after the match, so Johnny Gargano obviously is out there with Dexter. He gets in the ring and claps at Corbin, daps up Dexter. JBL is just not happy at all with Corbin. We're going to talk about that a little bit later because there's some movement there as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
After that, we had a Becky Lynch promo. So backstage, she's with Byron. He asks what tonight means for her because it's the big steel cage match. She says, Orlando, Florida, where it all began 10 years ago when I first met you, Byron. A lot has happened, but I first met Bailey in the weight room. She seemed sweet and kind and wanted to be great. She high-fived and hugged people and attached herself to whatever meal ticket brings her to the top. But I did the same, but I did it by kicking faces and changing the game. So I become the man in this industry. Bailey didn't like that. She attacks me with chairs, separates my shoulder, and brings my family into this. But I got what I want tonight, which is a steel cage match. So you can bring your friends and tricks. There's one hand I haven't played, and tonight may be the night. Yes.
So then we get Brock Lesnar coming to the ring in his $5 denim jacket, as he put it. He drops promo. He says, I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Good evening, Orlando. Did y'all catch the Royal Rumble? I did too. I thought it sucked.
And he's really going heavy on the country accent these days, man.
Yeah, wearing a Megadeth shirt too. And he says, at least I had a sucky experience. You see, Brock gets his ass thrown over the top rope. That's not the worst. The worst, I got thrown over by Bobby Lashley. Says, I apologize that I wasn't here last week, but Bobby, you finally struck a chord with me. All week I couldn't get you out of my head. I went hunting, and all I thought about was Bobby who? Bobby Lashley. Next day, I was going to go ice fishing. All I could think about was Bobby Lashley. I sit down for a steak dinner, and all I could think about is Bobby Lashley. I crawl into bed with my wife.
Ooh, Sable.
Now about 4 or 5 hours later, all I could think about is Bobby Lashley. That line really...
Oh, man.
Brock popped himself with that one.
Yeah, crowd loved that one.
He says, so all week long I thought, what am I going to do? But I came up with a resolution, a violent resolution, in my $5 denim jacket, which he'd cut the sleeves off of.
Yeah.
Is a multi-million-dollar contract, and on this contract it states Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at Elimination Chamber. Now, Bobby, if you got a set of balls, you'll get your ass down here and you'll sign it.
Bum, ba-da-dun. So Lashley's music hits. He gets in the ring. He's looking like $1 million. You know, it's like night and day. Great. You got Brock wearing a Walmart denim jacket with the sleeves ripped off. Bobby Lashley with like a $5,000 suit, some cool glasses. He looks great. He says, well, nice of you to grace us with your presence, Brock. Since you're here, let's take a walk down memory lane. Match 1, what happened? I pinned you. Match 2, you won, but if my memory serves me correct, I laid your ass unconscious as I walked out of the ring. So the third meeting, we met at the Rumble, and I threw your ass over without any problem. So if my memory serves me correct, things are going to be done under my terms. So I'm going to take this contract, let my agent, my manager, my lawyer all look at it, and I'll get back to you. Are you surprised that Bobby Who has one up on you, and he boops him on the nose? Ooh, Brock didn't like that. So Brock grabs him as he's trying to leave, and he hits an F5. He grabs the mic and contract, and the crowd chants, one more time. And he goes and he looks, and he's like, all right, I'll do one more time. So he hits him with another one, and then he walks out. Yeah, I thought this was a good segment, dude.
This was good. This was good stuff. Then we're backstage. John Gargano walks up to Candice LeRae, says, hey, how are you feeling? And she goes, I don't feel like luck is on my side, but I feel pretty good. And then John says, well, Dexter's got he did a picture for you. He drew a picture for you. So Dexter hands it, and it's a picture of Candice and John. Yeah. And then off in the corner, there's Nikki Cross kind of lurking. And so they both, like Gargano kind of notices that Nikki's behind them lurking.
Yeah, right. Stalking.
And Candice turns around and is like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and then Nikki just laughs and runs away.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty funny that he put her in the picture. Like he's the first person to notice. And he drew it in there instead of telling them.
I know, rather than saying something.
Yeah, because he don't talk. After that, we had a fatal four-way for the number one contendership for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. And this match was a blast. And I love that Corey was wearing a matching jacket for Carmella. It was cheetah or leopard print, something like that. And that was really cute. But yeah, no, this match, like you said, man, this is just tons of fun. Really, really good stuff. Really well booked match.
That bit where Carmella was trying to get pins on Candice and Mia Yim, and they kept kicking out, and they all were sitting next to each other and sat up, and then Piper flies in with the front splash and all three of them.
That was good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Man, that Poison Rana before that was scary with Mia Yim because it looked like she got right on her head. But yeah, no, that was good stuff.
So down towards the finish, Piper and Candice are fighting. Piper misses a senton. Candice hits like a step-up one of her own. So Piper rolls out of the ring. Carmella rolls up Candice to get a 2. Carmella sends Candice in the corner, hits a Bronco Buster. Piper follows with the cannonball, and then Carmella super kicks Piper out of the ring and covers Candice to get the win.
Absolutely. After that, backstage, JBL's with Corbin.
Wow.
And Corbin walks up like everything is cool. Yeah, I know. But Corbin first walks up and he's like, all right, man, well, where you want to go eat? You want to get some steaks? You want to get some whiskey or whatever? And JBL's not having it. He says, there ain't no we anymore. I headline WrestleMania. He claims he was must-see TV. He says, but you're change the channel TV. The sound you hear out there is people changing the channel. I don't give a damn about you, but I give a damn about my credibility. I'm losing it because of you. You aren't a modern-day wrestling god. You might as well wear big shoes and a red nose because you're a clown. He says, you don't belong near me. He says, you can't polish a turd. I tried. And in the background, you see MVP chatting up Cedric and Shelton Benjamin. Yeah, poor Corbin. So where does Corbin go from here, man? This guy is one of the most.
I got two words for you, Steve.
Bum ass.
Oh,
I love it. I love it. He is one of the. In my opinion, I think he's got so much more to offer than creative has ever given him.
I know, but bum ass Corbin was the closest to prime Corbin that we've seen on main roster.
I know, but that's got to be a road, and I hope we see it because I loved it. That's got to be a road to something.
Oh, obviously. That's not the end destination.
Where would you take him after bum-ass Corbin? How would you do a bum-ass Corbin to something that's palatable?
There was a pivot point when they were having bum-ass Corbin go on a run where rather than learn anything, he doubled down, so to say, on his worst excesses as a character.
Yeah.
And so coming out of being bum-ass Corbin, he was just more of an asshole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What if he comes out of being bum-ass Corbin with a new appreciation for things?
Oh, wow.
And we get babyface Baron Corbin. We've never seen that before.
No, we haven't. Remember when Scott Hall on Breaking Ground was like, "You're an asshole. That's why I think you're a real asshole. That's why you are what you are."
No one could ever buy you as a babyface because they all know you're an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think that'd be something better than anything that they've done with him. I mean, it's been like Vince's worst fucking new generation. You'll be a rich guy who's just like a walking casino, I guess, or whatever he was supposed to be. Yeah, I think he'll get with a guy that just tells bad jokes.
You knew this thing with JBL wasn't going to work as soon as you hear Baron's new theme song. Not that it's bad. It just doesn't fit him whatsoever.
No, I was sad because when the original pairing up, because there have been times that I've been like, okay with JBL. What's funny about JBL is that he is a grade A interviewer. Remember when he had that Legends with JBL show? That was really good stuff. Mm-hmm. But even on screen, I think there's been moments where I've been like, okay, I'm cool with JBL. Like, it hasn't been very many. But when he was going to take Corbin under his wing, I was like, okay, this could be kind of entertaining. At the very least, this could be entertaining. And then they just went the wrong direction with it.
I know.
Wrestling god stuff. I was like, oh, this is bad.
That seems like something you build towards, not like just... I mean, instantly JBL staked his whole reputation on someone who has a propensity to losing via roll-up on a regular basis.
I know.
Not much of a wrestling god.
No, you have to build to that, give him some, take him under your wing and then build him up that way.
Exactly.
So yeah, I don't know what you do with the guy. I think that there's any number of things you could do, including what you mentioned, try him out as a babyface maybe. Mm-hmm. And see if that works. I don't know. I mean, it could be the kind of thing, kind of echoing what they did with Kevin Owens, where it's like he's been such a piece of shit his whole life or his whole career that people just don't trust that he's going to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, after that, backstage, so it's post match, the 4-way with the women. Candice is walking out hurt. She's all busted up. Piper comes out and she's like, "Hey, you ruined it for me." And Mia Yim comes in and she's like, "Hey, back off." And Piper looks at them both and she's like, "You guys are lucky because if you guys get between me and the Raw Women's title again, you're not going to be so lucky."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then we got a tag match. Alpha Academy taking on Cedric Alexander, Prime Alexander, Shelton Benjamin. I'm happy he still has Prime on his pants.
Yeah, me too. I like that.
Cedric
was a cool name. Yeah.
Yeah, it is a cool name. It was great to see Cedric and Shelton get the win here. Of course, MVP joined them ringside. That was helping him out a little bit. In the end, we got to see a lumbar check on Raw. I haven't seen one of those in forever.
I know. That is such a fun move.
Oh, it's one of the best. I love.
You ever see the one that he did on Candice LeRae?
I think so.
It's holy shit. I know you have. She goes flying. It's great. I think it was PWG. I think it was awesome.
Look into that.
All right.
That seemed like one of those moves that would be an absolute blast to sell. Not only because it seemed like it'd be fun, but also to outdo everybody else, or like the stunner was.
Oh
back
yeah,
in
sure,
the day,
yeah, yeah. Who can give their own variation of it? Yeah,
yeah. Cedric hits Gable with a lumbar check after Gable misses a moonsault, and I guess we got Cedric, we got Shelton, we got MVP all back together. Need Bobby.
Need
Bobby, and
that's got to be Elimination Chamber. That's got to be Elimination Chamber. that's how they get out of that match or get, the finish to that match. So it motivates maybe another one. Yeah. Would you add a Moss to it? Mix it up a little bit? You know what they could do? Because I was advocating for the Street Profits joining the Hurt Business. What if they split and Montez becomes like their mid-card guy? Bobby's their big attraction guy, and then Montez starts out like his mid-card career, and then like a year down the line, Montez can sort of have a little battle with Bobby Lashley over who runs the Hurt Business. Leadership, yeah.
That could be something.
That could be pretty cool.
That could be something.
Yeah.
Then we're backstage. Miz is being interviewed by Kathy Kelly. He's asked about losing to Rick Boogs last week, and he says, my reaction to Boogs, I'll give my reaction to Adam Pearce along with the damages to my suit. So apparently he has a bill for $10,000, how much the suit costs. He says, who makes anyone compete in a suit? And Boogs? What do I care? So then Boogs walks in, interrupts, or walks out of Adam Pearce's office. And then Miz says, how'd you get an appointment before me? Do you think you're special? And Boogs goes, oh, you think I'm special? Thanks, man. I'm just happy to be back with the Boogs crew. And Miz says, well, I would have beaten you, and you're lucky Pierce is a lazy, incompetent official. And as he's saying all that, Pierce is leaving his office. And Pierce says to him, if you want a rematch, all you had to do was ask. So how about next week? And so Boogs out in excitement. And then Chelsea Green walks in and says, I'm all ready for my match. Who am I facing?
So we find that out. Chelsea Green comes out first, and then we find out it's Asuka. So what was your read on her new theme, Larson?
So the instrumental aspect of it is pretty close to her previous theme.
Yeah.
It is to Gallus' theme in terms of the instrumental, how similar it is to the previous theme. That being said, the vocals are completely different. It's going to take some getting used to.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like they do it so that it sounds similar, which I don't know why they... Okay, so I understand it like the UK guys, if they want to... If the UK themes were the CFO $sign or whoever did that, somebody else did those. I know Gallus wasn't, but they want to do something similar, right? Yeah. I get it. Yeah. You want to do something similar. That's fine. Because it's UK, not a lot of people watch that, so who cares? Asuka's theme was so iconic. Unless they were, you remember how when Judgment Day had their own, how Judgment Day has their themes that are similar, but it's like a Judgment Day version of their previous themes. I thought that was cool. I thought it was very creative. It's like, it's like a warped version. And I can't tell if this is supposed to be like a more sinister version of Asuka's theme or just like a different, like a variation on it, because
it's the latter.
I know. And that sort of bums me out. Like, give her something that's like more accurately in line with this new, more vicious version of Kana.
The vocals almost sound like more anthemic, like it's supposed to be like a huge anthem. That's kind of the vibe I got. There's like a crescendo in there as well. Like the original theme, like the vocals were kind of buried in the mix and a little distorted. It kind of fit the presence of Asuka. It's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just going to take some getting used to.
Well, I just don't really know what it is, because commentary's talking and there's crowd noise and everything. So like if it shows up on Spotify or whatever, I'd like to take another listen to it, because it's just distracting when it sounds similar to her theme, but it's obviously not.
I did hear they mention the Empress of Tomorrow in the lyrics.
I noticed that too, but it was just very like it just happened, and it was like, oh wait, I heard that, but I couldn't.
It was like the Empress of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I couldn't understand any of their lyrics.
Yeah, I couldn't either, except for that. That's what I mean, is try and make it sound like very anthemic, like an anthem.
Song's not the same. So, anyways, you know what? I appreciate that Chelsea Green is on this big return. They want to let her get her shit in. But I thought this was, okay, it's Asuka. Why don't you just do the same thing they did to Chelsea Green at the Rumble and just have Asuka just squash the shit out of her? But like they let Chelsea get a bunch of shit in here. Yeah.
I mean, I guess, she's making her return. They want to really establish her. I get it. She did the 5-second elimination at the Rumble, and they kind of like, we're supposed to take her seriously as a competitor.
Yeah. That's fine, but this is against Asuka.
No, I understand. I kind of like the idea
competition.
Of everybody around the ring that's in the chamber match, and seemingly everybody's just like, none of them like Chelsea Green.
I like that too. I thought that was
Instantly.
good. Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You have the
none of
whole
them like
roster out
Chelsea
there.
Green.
Yeah, and her like John with them, like Nikki and all that, and like Liv and Raquel, I think. Allowed Asuka to get up from like some strikes that Chelsea had delivered to her, and then she just went off. She just blasted her with all the back fists and the kicks and all that kind of stuff, and ended tapping her out in the end to get the win here. But yeah, no, I thought, as far as establishing somebody that clearly within the ranks of the women's division, everybody hates her. I thought they did a good job by having everybody there. I thought you're right about that.
See, I'll say this though, like I understand your point about Chelsea getting some offense in. And this match, it didn't bother me as much because it wasn't like when Asuka debuted on main roster or against Emma. Yeah, and that was like a competitive bout for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Like that seemed like that. You have Asuka coming in main roster. You want her to make a massive impression immediately. Yeah. Everybody should be scared of her.
Yeah, right.
And if that's the goal, then she should be. No disrespect to Emma. But at the time, she wasn't booked as the strongest competitor of the division.
Yeah, still isn't. Yeah, and Chelsea did sell like she was scared shitless when Asuka showed up. She was like, what? This is my match? Yeah. Before we continue, I do want to point this out. We got a bunch of new merch over at friendoshop.com. Right now, you can still use code RUMBLE to get 20% off. But I just got these in. I got yours too. But
oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. It pops, man. It pops.
That red pops. That's verging on not being color safe there.
I know, exactly.
So don't hold it up too long. You're going to burn that into people's screens.
Oh, it's all good. So there's that. And then, so I've got, you've got this one. So here's a Smash Zone shirt right here.
Nice.
You got this right here. It's got you, me, the Enforcer. It's got a whammy. It's got Richard Dawson kissing a person. And then it's got like a little "To Tell the Truth" logo there.
That's
probably
great.
Totally a copyright violation, but whatever. We're rebels over here. And this cracked me up because I got, of course, the black shirt because I like the black shirts.
Yeah.
So we got this one as well. Again, it pops a lot. But here's the funny thing. So for whatever reason, when I drew these, and you could even see in your version here in the white shirt, like you, and I don't know, you can't really tell, but like you've got your full teeth right here. And I've got my full teeth. Okay. I've got my full teeth there. Okay.
Yeah.
But for some reason on the black shirt, and I don't know, maybe I didn't, this is the only one I have. Maybe it's different, but for some reason when it came out, I've got like 3 teeth missing and you've got a couple teeth missing too. So you got some like, some toothless.
I gotta get some partials in there, huh?
So a little Easter egg there for you. They're like, who are those guys who need some dental work?
Yeah.
Steve and Larson.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So after the match, Bianca's music hits. She comes out to the ramp and she says, I want y'all to look at each other and tell me what you see. I see 6 top tier women in WWE, but which one of you has what it takes to win at the Chamber? Whoever that is, gets to go one-on-one with the EST of WWE. Last year, I was in your position, so I know what it takes to win. And that's how I won this. She holds up the Raw Women's title. Says, so I want to wish each of you the good luck, because whoever makes it out, I'll be ready to see you at WrestleMania.
That's right. I also want to mention this really quick. We've got 635 people watching right now.
Wow.
If y'all just do us a huge favor, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, the notify bell. If we get to, we're at 152 right now. If we get 48 more, we'll call Paul in so you can ask him a bunch of questions about various things and whatnot.
Yeah.
After that, we had that great Cody Rhodes promo.
All
so
right, who do you want to be? Do you want to be Cody or Paul Heyman?
Well, okay, here's the thing. We broke this down pretty extensively.
We did.
I feel like we kind of don't need to go through this because it's kind of redundant. What do you think?
I mean, there's some details we didn't.
Okay, that's fine. What? Yeah,
we can kind of
okay.
We can kind of go through it. So who do you want? You want to be Heyman? You do
oh,
good.
Of course,
Heyman.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely, I'll be
I
Heyman.
figured.
Absolutely.
So Cody comes to the ring, says, "So what do you guys want to talk about?" Last week, I used my interview time to talk with respect about my current WrestleMania opponent, Roman Reigns. My path to Mania is straight, but the destination is foggy because our champ is putting his titles up against a guy with all the momentum heading into his hometown, Sami Zayn. So we get Sami chance. And Cody says, you seem like a perfect judge for my next question. It looks like it's going to be me against Sami Zayn at WrestleMania. I have respect for my friend Sami Zayn, so I'll just say this: may the best man win.
Yeah. So that brings out Paul Heyman. Oh, one small note about Cody's entrance that just tickled me to death. You know, like when he's going down the ramp, right? Mm-hmm. And on the bottom, you've got like they're like little square light boxes. Mm-hmm. And they have like probably like 8 little spotlights, 8 little lights, right? They configure the lights to be American flags. Oh, it was the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen, but it's so fitting. It was so great. I was like, that is the most ridiculous detail. They're like, American flags everywhere. Anyways, so Heyman comes out. He says, he does the whole spiel. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman. He gets in the ring. He says, Cody, what you may one day find out in your life, hopefully not at my expense, but one day, is that life at the very top in this industry requires an understanding that the only week busier than the one leading into a major event, like WrestleMania, is the week coming out of a major event. We've been going through a lot in the bloodline, but me and Roman in the front of the world want to congratulate you on winning the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match, which, by the way, I appreciate that he referred to it as the 2023 Men's Royal Rumble match. Cody continues.
Yes. They shake hands, and Cody says, I know that my father had a nickname for you. My brother had one, too, but I will call you Mr. Heyman because I have unparalleled respect for you, and you know why. If we're going to pull back the curtain, let's pull it back for everyone. I want to tell a story. The year was 2000. The till in my family had dried up. Hard Times wasn't just a promo. We were broke. My dad did local car commercials just so he could keep the car, not to pay the bills. But then he got a phone call. You called him. You told him the ECW was in town and Steve Corino was going to talk smack. And if he agreed to appear on camera, you'd pay him well. You kept your word. In addition to the money ECW gave my father his confidence back. And I can never repay you for that. Thank you very much. Says, we turned the clocks forward, but before I was here, I was causing trouble somewhere else. And from one disruptor to another, you showed me the way. Thank you again. And while Cody is relaying the story, Heyman's getting emotional.
He is, yeah. There's like some tears welling up here. The crowd starts chanting, thank you, Paul. And he takes a second here and he looks legitimately caught off guard. He says that. He says, you know, you really caught me off guard. You know, I came out here to schmooze and do some business and you got me. You got me personally. He says, well, if we peel it back, let's go all the way. He says, it isn't about me. With all due respect and love and adulation, this isn't about your dad. It's about you and everything you fought for, from all the way to the bottom to winning the Rumble and main eventing WrestleMania. And winning WrestleMania is a whole different story. Just getting there is a long road, and that's your story, where you see if your dream comes true or it turns into a nightmare. You're not just main eventing, you're fighting the box office champion Roman Reigns. It's hard, especially when you've never been in the spotlight. Will you crumble in that spotlight because no one ever prepped you for that? You know, down the road is the Performance Center, and there, your father, Dusty Rhodes, trained and prepped the biggest stars of this generation. Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Kevin Owens, and the tribal chief Roman Reigns. You know who he didn't train and prep? And by the way, at this point, he's pointing to the stage. He says, you know who he didn't train and prep? He didn't train nor prep, and he turns around, you. And Cody winces. Mm-hmm. He says, as a father myself, I could counsel you that maybe he wanted you to make it on your own and step out from his shadow, that he wanted more than just Dusty's son, but wanted you to be Cody, the WrestleMania main event, the man who stopped Roman Reigns. I can't convey in words how much I loved your father, and I know he loved you. Personally, in my last conversation with him, Dusty told me, Cody, that you were his favorite son. And Cody's welling up right now. But Roman Reigns was the son he always wanted. And he drops the mic and he just has this absolute, like you said, look of glee, like he just stepped on the smallest bug and feels like the biggest giant.
Yep. So then Cody takes a moment and Heyman's about to throw up his one, you know, as member of Bloodline. So then as he's about to do that, Cody backs him into the corner. And Heyman's like, oh, I was just sending a message. And so Cody grabs his hand, shakes it, and says, I'm just trying to win a wrestling championship, and everyone wants to make it personal. You made it personal, but you aren't going to pay. But your boy Roman Reigns is going to pay when I take those titles personally.
Yeah. God damn it, it was good.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. After that, we had Montez Ford versus Elias. We had Austin Theory on commentary doing his whisper yelling. And yeah, Montez. I was happy to see Montez got the win here with a frog splash. Theory gets up on the announce table and holds up his title, and then Rollins comes out of nowhere and wipes Theory off the table, and then hits a stomp on the outside as he danced around the ring, and nobody sells that stomp like Austin Theory. It was
just plants himself right in the floor.
It was awesome. It was great.
It was great. Then we had our main event, great cage match between Becky Lynch and Bayley.
Boy, this was good.
Match was phenomenal.
Hot stuff.
Phenomenal. So down towards the finish, they're fighting all over the place. There's all sorts of great stuff here. Down towards the finish, though, they're both up on top of the cage, and then Becky tries to put Bayley in and disarm her using the cage bars.
You know, she basically does, and commentary was late to point that out, but she had that thing locked in for a second, and Corey was like, "Oh, looks like she's trying to hit the disarmer." It's like, no, she was hitting.
Yeah,
that.
she got it. Yeah,
yeah.
So then Bayley falls. Becky gets stopped climbing out by Io, and she eventually kicks Becky back into the ring. So Dakota hands Bayley the crutch she came walking out on, and all of a sudden Lita's music hits. She runs down. She takes out Io, takes out Dakota. She takes out Io with one of Dakota's crutches. Bang, twist of fate. Bayley's distracted by all that. She tries to get out. Lita slams her door right in her face. Manhandle slam from Becky to get the win.
Yeah. No, that was great. And then, of course, after the match, Lita gets in there. They hug it out, and Becky raises Lita's arm and vice versa. And they go up the ramp. Yeah, man, I thought it was a stellar main event. I have no idea. Do we know if Lita was scheduled to be there at Raw 30 for this?
That's a good question.
I don't know. You would assume so.
Yeah.
But you'd also would have thought that maybe that would have gotten out, that she would have been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyways, you want to answer some questions from the friendos? We're at 206 likes, so after we do questions, we're going to call Paul in.
There we go.
Let's
call
you
Paul.
guys know. You have a Patreon thread.
I do.
I've got a YouTube thread. That's another benefit of being a YouTube channel member or a patron at $5 and up. You all get the priority when it comes to answering the questions. We have a super chat here from Cletus. Says, when should Roman return after Mania? Let's assume that Roman loses the titles. How long should he be gone?
SummerSlam, maybe. Come back to SummerSlam. Maybe kind of do a Brock schedule for a little bit where he just works the major shows.
I mean, if his schedule, if his contract is like, yeah, I can come back next week, then
I guess it all depends on what story they have planned post Mania. If it's something that kind of requires that he's around for a little bit, then of course, yeah.
I mean, from a business standpoint, you don't keep him off for months. If he contractually he's supposed to be there, or he can be there. But yeah, I think I would say, look, the Raw after Mania sells itself, and you can get a good couple stories for, I would say, a couple weeks. I'd say a couple weeks. And then, but I honestly have no idea. I have no idea what you do with him afterwards. I mean, this has been such a historical, in modern wrestling, over the past 20 years, it's been such a historical run.
It really has been, yeah.
That like anything else feels like a bit of a step down. I don't know what you do. Like who it's been so long. Who challenges him? What does he do? I mean, do you do Cody versus Roman 2 at SummerSlam? But in the meantime, I don't know what he does.
Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. We also got a new member here, MB. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let me see if I can find the questions.
So the Yellow Flash over here on Patreon asked, are we heading towards a triple threat at Mania for the WWE Undisputed titles? No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Odd Breakfast here on the YouTube question thread says, how much staying power do you think Chelsea Green's Karen gimmick has? As we sort of said, I feel like as long as it goes beyond just a one-dimensional let me ask for your manager shtick, then I think Chelsea Green, she's great. She can make a lot out of a little. But you got to give her some stories. And the more stories she has, the more staying power it'll have.
Hopefully through those stories, there's some dimension added to the character. You just don't want it to be too one note.
Yeah.
Alex Foster here says, lately a lot of people have been agreeing with me in the idea that Jey Uso is the main character of the Bloodline story. How should this pay off for him?
I disagree with that. I don't think he's the main character. I don't think there is a main character in the storyline. I don't. I think that it's a proper ensemble. I think it's a proper family story with a lot of different moving pieces, and it does not need a main character.
No, everybody's got their arc. Everybody's got their story arc.
What's the actual question there?
How should the Bloodline story pay off for Jey?
For Jey, it's the moment when he should be the guy that doesn't cost Roman the title, but he should be the guy who basically leads the rest of the bloodline away from Roman. It should be him, and that costs Roman the title.
Joey Two Dimes here asks, how long before LA Knight dethrones either Cody or Roman? SmackDown after Mania.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Triple threat. The rematch on SmackDown. LA Knight wins all the titles.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep. David Matushek here asks, if the sponsored match at WrestleMania rumor is true, who do you think it should be, and what kind of match would fit the bill of the sponsor?
What's the sponsor?
I don't think they've officially announced. I saw Cinnamon Toast Crunch was amongst the...
Cinnamon Toast Crunch presents WrestleMania.
What can we think of some sort of Cinnamon Toast Crunch match?
Well, I forget what this was for, but you mentioned before, why don't you do the Jericho Orange Cassidy thing?
Oh, yeah.
But, in a giant bowl of cereal.
That's
you
good.
have a match in a giant bowl of cereal.
You got to dump your opponent in a giant bowl of cereal, yeah.
But it's just LA Knight and Bray Wyatt again. They just go back to them for all the sponsored matches.
Good. It worked so well the first time. So
right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch presents WrestleMania Backlash. This is good. Time War says, what other factions would you say, not actually a faction, but just three guys? So on my WrestleJuice channel, I did another review of Wrestling News Now for people who don't know. And his assertion was, Roman's upset because without the Usos, it's no longer a bloodline. It's just three guys.
Just three guys.
So what other faction would you say weren't actually a faction, but just three guys?
I mean, I guess any faction that was just three guys. Shield, not a faction. It's just three guys.
New Day, not a faction. Just three guys.
Yeah. The Elite.
It's just three guys.
At this point, it's just three guys.
Just three guys, yeah. House of Torture. Do they have
just
just three guys?
No, there's more. There's more.
They're more than that. They have Show, Evil, Dick Togo.
Yujiro Takahashi.
Tokyo Pimp. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Not just three guys. But if
not just three guys.
Tokyo Pimp leaves. Tokyo Pimp leaves.
Three guys.
Just three guys.
Just three guys. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see here. Jack Napier says, y'all think the wise man was going to cry because he was struggling to keep it together? I think he kind of did. Yeah, there was some tears there.
Yeah. Edward Munoz, when Cody wins those titles, who would you guys like to see be his first opponent? I feel like they're going to go the well again and have him fight Rollins. That will probably happen at some juncture.
That'll happen at some juncture, but between what you just said and then Blackhorn and Links here in our YouTube chat. No, I'm sorry. He was talking about LA Knight. Above him, Alex T says, I'd imagine they run back Seth versus Roman at some point with no titles. That's absolutely what they should do.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that should be the case. Remorse Betrayal here in chat says Cody versus Finn. I think that'd be great.
Mm-hmm. This is great. Cruz here says, what big WrestleMania pop doesn't get spoken of that much? He says Linda McMahon getting up off her chair at Mania 17. I can't beat that. That is awesome.
Yeah, I can't.
WrestleMania pop that doesn't get spoken of that much. Was there a big pop? Didn't like Booker T show up at the end of Mania 17, or was that just on a random Raw? It wouldn't have been at the end. Maybe that was just on the invasion thing. That was probably in the lead up to WrestleMania. I don't know when that was.
I mean, WrestleMania 17 was in Houston.
Did the owner, the suite that the WCW C-listers were sitting in, did that get a massive pop at 17?
I don't think so.
Because I remember they showed that. They're like, oh my God, look at that. It's Sean O'Hare.
Look, it's Chuck Palumbo.
Hey, they should have popped for Jindrak, though.
Best drop kick in
They should have
history.
popped for Jindrak. He was going to be an evolution. And he's the best drop kick in history. And he's a AAA legend.
Yes.
Marco Corleone.
Yes.
Isn't that great? Like, he was Marco Corleone in AAA, but then he was also Marco Corleone on the soap opera.
I know.
How great is that?
It's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Dylan asks, what could AJ do at Mania this year? Is he going to be ready?
I don't know if he's
going
to make it. He's got a broken ankle.
He's got a busted ankle. I don't think he's going to be at
I
WrestleMania.
don't know if the OC is going to be involved much.
I'm going to host it. He's a host. We're going to have a trampoline off.
Hosts.
Who wants to join the AJ Styles WrestleMania trampoline off?
Oh, that's good. That's a good part.
Who could do the craziest tricks on trampolines? And I'll judge it because I know all about trampoline tricks.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. B-Man here says, what current wrestler character-wise would be most suited for the time period of WB for the first episode of Raw?
Okay,
and what wrestler from that time period would stand out now? Okay,
so some of the characters on the first episode of Raw include Doink the Clown, Repo Man, Damian Demento, who Bruce Pritchard claimed up and down was way ahead of his time. I'll have to rewatch the Undertaker match with him. Narcissus was just Lex Luger.
Well, I mean, the Steiner brothers, they were on that first episode. They'd fit right in on
True
wrestling now.
Who from today would fit in back then?
A lot of wrestlers from NXT. Some of the characters there that are a little bit more over the top.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah, Braun Breaker, I guess. Even though there's nothing over the top about him, really.
Yeah, mild-mannered Steiner.
Yeah, no.
Let's see here. I mean, back then the Steiners weren't. It's not like it was Big Papa Pump back then.
No.
Von Enforcer has it right. Von Wagner.
Oh dear.
Yeah, because he fits in any era because he's so not defined.
That's true.
Yeah. Hey. Von Wagner versus Van Hammer. Who would win?
Wow. I mean, I guess I'd want to see Von Wagner with the heavy metal gimmick.
I think he'd
just
kill
like
it.
Van Hammer did before he joined the flock.
He'd do great. High Plains Drifter. By the way, I'm about to send your shirt out, High Plains Drifter. Says, if the Bloodline wraps up at Mania, what's next for Paul Heyman? A new Dangerous Alliance would be cool. Who would be in a new Dangerous Alliance?
That'd be neat.
Okay, so in the first Dangerous Alliance, let's see if you can. Here's some trivia for you, Larson.
Unless this is the first one, like the lineup that I remember most. I know what it is.
Let's see. Okay, so where's WCW? Okay, from WCW, there are, including Heyman, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow.
There are 8 people in the original WCW lineup.
Besides Heyman, right?
Including Heyman. So name 7 more.
Rick Rude.
Correct.
Stunning Steve Austin.
Of course.
Arn Anderson.
Absolutely.
Medusa.
Very good.
There's a tag team, wasn't there?
Wasn't Arn in the tag team?
What's that?
Wasn't Arn in the tag team?
No, I think he was a singles wrestler back then.
No, Arn was in a tag. You're right. He was in a tag team. But can you name?
Oh, it was Zbyszko.
It was Zbyszko.
Yeah.
There's 2 more that I honestly don't remember being in the Dangerous Alliance.
So High Plains Drifter says Bobby Eaton.
Yeah, stop cheating. Bobby Eaton's one of them. And there's one more who is actually a manager of the group. Look at me.
Manager of the group.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael P.S. Hayes, huh?
Michael Hayes, yeah. But my goodness gracious, the Dangerous Alliance went through the AWA, the CWA, WCW, and ECW.
Wow.
There were 2 versions in ECW, including the original and the new Dangerous Alliance, with C.W. Anderson, Johnny Swinger,
Oh.
Eric Watts, Taz and Sabu were in it. Sherry Martel was in it. Shane Douglas was in it as a partner. Maybe it was a short-lived.
Oh, that could be
alliance.
until he split off and formed Triple Threat, huh?
Hot stuff. Eddie Gilbert.
Oh yeah.
Jimmy Snuka. Snuka was all over those early ECW.
Oh yeah.
The Dark Patriot and 911. Wow, interesting stuff. Hot stuff.
Shall we call Paul?
Let's call Paul, and I've got plenty of paperwork here to do. So yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Here we go. I don't like that sarcasm because I really do. All right, here we go. Hello, thank you for calling WWE.com. Open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We're hot stuff. How can I help you?
What a great tagline.
You like that? It's like the Del Taco thing.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Hold on a second. Wait, don't interrupt me. Hold on. Steph, are we getting Del Taco tonight? I want 6 chicken soft tacos. And then one of those California burritos, but we gotta get the fries out of there. There's too many carbs.
And those California burritos are delicious. I haven't been able to find them out here.
So good. All you Californians love avocado.
Avocado's the best.
Yeah, it's cheap now too, unlike anything else. Anyways, what can I do for you today? Why are you calling me? It's Tuesday.
Oh, I don't know. I just want to say, hey, this is a stellar Raw last night.
Oh man, you know what? I brought my A game. The week previous, not as much. I learned my lesson. Can't be booking things 10 minutes before the show. I go blank. I go empty.
Wins and learns, right?
Wins and learns. You got that right. Don't interrupt. It was a great show last night. The rating is supposed to be off the charts. I'm waiting for that. I got 14 minutes till that rating comes in. I think it's gonna be huge.
What are you expecting?
Oh man, 3.0, 3.2,
wow.
3.3. Wow. Yeah, demo. 1 million in the demo.
Wow, that'd be something
18
else.
for all those young people. 18 to 49.
That'd be a huge number. Can you walk me through the process of putting together this Cody Rhodes Paul Heyman promo? Because that's the segment everybody's talking about.
You want me to pull the curtain back for everybody to see?
Yeah, if you could, please.
I don't do that. I got to protect the business. Just to suffice it to say, I find it funny that all I got to do is say Paul and Cody go out there and kill it, and that's enough motivation for them to put on promo of the year segment. Take that, AEW. That's all it is. I just said Paul, and he was like, yes, my COO, CCO, whatever my title is. And I'm like, go out there and kill it. And he's like, okay. And then I'm like, by the way, you probably owe a bunch of people here money from their ECW days because you stiffed a lot of people on money.
Is there any truth to the rumor going around that Trish Stratus is going to be on Raw next week and we're going to have a 6-woman tag match at Elimination Chamber? Damage Control versus Becky, Lita, Trish.
I can neither confirm nor deny, but I'm winking right now. You can't see because it's a Zoom picture, but I'm winking right now. I can neither confirm nor deny that I am Worked Podcast Twitter account. What is that? The Worked? What was it again? Worked WWE?
Worked Wrestling.
Yeah, that's what it is. Worked Wrestling. I had Steph put that on my phone. It's my burner account. I am Worked Wrestling.
Wow.
Gonna be leaking all sorts of scoops there.
Oh, cool. So I should follow then, yes?
Yeah, Twitter's a cesspool, though. I'm thinking of starting up my own Discord or a Facebook or a MySpace or something like that. A WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, there you go. Can you do like forums like that on WhatsApp? I don't know anything about WhatsApp.
I don't know about it. Technology. I gotta get Steph. Steph, I need to start up my WhatsApp Discord. And Del Taco. What do you mean get it myself? I'm a very important person. Okay. I gotta go because I gotta get the Del Taco order. I said I want Del Taco, and then she said, well, you get it. I was like, I don't want to. And then she's like, but now I want it, and you're going to go get it. So now I got to go get it.
All right.
This is what happy wife, happy life.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for chatting.
I got to go. Bye.
Talk to you on Friday. Bye.
How'd that go?
It was fine. It's getting some Del Tacos, so we had to go.
Okay. Del Taco. There's no Del Tacos in Connecticut.
I didn't think so either, but I'm not going to argue with him about it.
Yeah, I probably don't want to bring that up. Steph's probably going to be mad if she's the one. Was she the one who wanted Del Taco?
Well, it was Triple H at first, but then once he brought it up, then she wanted some.
Oof. I wonder if he's going to do the thing where he's going to get it, eat it in the car, and then want some more, but hers is going to just stay there and be cold.
And then rather than give her the one he just bought, it's been the one that's been sitting there. Yeah, I know.
Oh, man, yeah.
Guess we'll find out.
Anyways, we'll find out. That's going to do it for the show today. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow for our NXT review / hopefully there's some news that comes out because nobody wants. I say that, but then our comments were low with like, I like NXT.
Yeah.
I like NXT. That's great. I like NXT too. I think it's fine depending on the week.
Yeah, on a week-to-week basis, it can be fine, yeah.
It is. Like sometimes I'm like, this is a waste of time. But hopefully Von Wagner will be on the show tonight.
Then it's
Is there a preview? You didn't ask Paul for a preview for NXT? I guess that's not his thing. That's not his thing.
It's not his thing. That's Heartbreak's thing, right?
Yeah, it's Heartbreak's thing. What do you think of that?
He didn't stick around long enough.
What do you think about the HBK Heartbreak thing? I'm sorry, the HBK Waller thing. When Waller busted into his room during the press conference, was like, "Hey, I want to be top guy. Can I be top guy?" And then HBK was like, "You lost your match. I want to be top guy though."
Well, I mean, if Waller wants to be top guy, he should win.
You know, I mean, is this leading to a Waller HBK match?
No, I don't think Shawn Michaels is wrestling again. This is what we got for NXT tonight. Steve Sol Ruka.
Sol Ruka.
Versus Zoe Stark. That'll be a good match.
Yeah.
Lyra Valkyria versus Valentina Feroz.
Oh, that'll be a good match.
And of course, Toxic Attraction going to be on Ding Dong Hello with Bayley.
That's right. Bayley's going to be there. Roxanne Perez loves her some Bayley, so I'm sure she's going to mix it up as well.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
So.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, anyways, that's going to do it for the show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later. Sol Ruka.
Goodbye.